Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. We're going to uncover a hidden, real-world location right here in America where the promise of justice, well, it completely disappears. We often think of the law as this giant invisible net covering every single inch of the country, catching anyone who steps out of bounds. But what if there was a tear in that net, a literal, physical place where the rules simply stop working, creating this massive void where the law just erases itself?
So imagine a place, a real zone where you could, theoretically, commit the perfect crime. We're talking about a serious felony here, even murder, and you could legally walk away entirely free. I know, it sounds exactly like the plot of some Hollywood thriller, right? You'd naturally think there's absolutely no way our modern legal system could allow a loophole that big. But as we're about to see, this is a very real, chilling reality hiding right in plain sight.
Section 1. The perfect crime zone.
Let's bring this out of the realm of imagination and firmly into geographic reality. We aren't talking about international waters or some undiscovered island out in the middle of nowhere. We are talking about a massive 50 square mile area. To put that into perspective, that's not just a tiny glitch on a map. It's a vast stretch of land, nestled right inside one of the most famous and beloved national parks in the entire world, Yellowstone National Park. 50 square miles where the justice system literally has a blind spot. Because of this wild reality, this specific patch of wilderness has earned itself an incredibly apt, albeit terrifying, nickname, the Zone of Death. By definition, this is an area where one could theoretically commit a perfect crime and legally walk free. So how does a pristine destination, a place famous for family camping trips and erupting geysers, accidentally become a place where the fundamental promise of justice just vanishes? Well, to understand the how, we've really got to look closely at the where. Section 2. Yellowstone's legal black hole. You see, the map of Yellowstone isn't just a map of nature and wildlife. In this specific instance, it's actually a map of a systemic legal failure. Here's how the physical stage is set for this total constitutional breakdown. First off, this zone is located entirely in the Idaho segment of the park. Now, Yellowstone mostly sits in Wyoming, but its borders spill over, and this specific chunk is over in Idaho. Second, and guys, this is the absolutely vital part, it contains absolutely zero residents. Nobody lives there. It is entirely uninhabited wilderness. And third, it's geographically isolated. Because there's literally no one living in this isolated Idaho segment, a very specific legal mechanism required for any trial is about to completely fall apart. Section 3. The Sixth Amendment Quash. This is exactly where geography collides head-on with the United States Constitution. We're going to deconstruct the exact legal mechanism that accidentally breaks our fundamental laws. It's kind of fascinating to see how a few words written centuries ago interact with the reality of an empty forest today. The crucial point here is a strict constitutional requirement found right in the Bill of Rights. The Sixth Amendment requires a jury from the state and district where the crime happened. Let me repeat that, because it's the absolute linchpin of this entire explainer, the state and the district where the crime happened. It's a protection designed to make sure you get a fair trial by your peers in the local area. But, well, the framers of the Constitution definitely couldn't have predicted the modern map of Yellowstone. And here is the brilliant, almost unbelievable paradox. On one hand, you have the constitutional requirement. The law strictly demands a local jury drawn from the specific state and district of the crime. But on the other hand, look at the geographic reality. The Idaho segment of Yellowstone has exactly zero residents. Basically, the law strictly demands a jury from a place where absolutely no one lives, which means theoretically, no legal jury could ever be seated. It's a perfect, unbreakable stalemate between the text of the Constitution and physical geography. Section 4. An unaddressed justice void. Now, this isn't just some quirky legal trivia fact to pull out at parties. It's a genuinely terrifying systemic blind spot that basically neutralizes the very laws meant to protect us. And what's perhaps most unsettling about this whole shebang is that this loophole has gone completely unaddressed for decades. Why? Well, fixing it would actually require an act of Congress to redraw federal district lines. But since nobody lives out there, and thankfully no high-profile felony has ever occurred there to force their hand, there simply hasn't been the political will to close the gap. Congress just hasn't felt the pressure to debate district lines over an empty forest. The system knows the hole is there, yet for decades the loophole remains wide open, meaning if a serious felony happened in this 50 square mile zone, the perpetrator could theoretically just walk out scot-free. Which leaves us with this final, honestly haunting thought to wrap up our explainer. Where does justice go when the law literally erases it? Really think about that for a second. We rely on the law to uphold justice, but In this specific patch of Idaho wilderness, the strict wording of the law itself is exactly what makes justice impossible. It's a chilling realization about just how fragile our legal system can be. It really makes you wonder how such a void continues to exist, entirely unaddressed for decades, sitting quietly right in the middle of America's wilderness. Keep questioning the systems around you, and thanks so much for joining me as we explored this fascinating legal black hole.